Inspired Moon presents Nurses Who Kill. Stephan Letter. In the quiet town of Sonthofen, nestled in the Bavarian Alps, the Sonthofen hospital stood as a beacon of care for the community's elderly and infirm. It was here that Stephan Letter, a seemingly dedicated nurse, began his tenure in early 2003. Born on September 17, 1978, in Herdecke, Germany, Letter had pursued a career in nursing, a profession that typically attracts those with a deep desire to care for others. However, beneath his facade of compassion lurked a darker, more sinister motivation. Letter quickly established himself as a capable and diligent nurse, earning the trust of his colleagues and superiors. Yet, soon after his arrival, an alarming pattern began to emerge. The hospital's mortality rate spiked, particularly during Letter's shifts, and an unusual number of elderly patients were dying unexpectedly. These patients were often in fragile states, battling severe illnesses, which made their deaths appear, at first glance, natural and unremarkable. The hospital administration started to notice discrepancies in the drug inventories, particularly concerning controlled substances like listhenon, a muscle relaxant, and dormicum, a sedative. An internal audit revealed significant discrepancies, prompting a deeper investigation. Autopsies of several patients who had died during Letter's shifts revealed toxic levels of these drugs, confirming suspicions of foul play. In July 2004, Stephan Letter was arrested, and under intense questioning, he eventually confessed to murdering 29 patients. He claimed his actions were motivated by a desire to end the suffering of terminally ill patients, presenting himself as a misunderstood angel of mercy. However, this defense was met with skepticism. Many of his victims were not terminally ill but were simply vulnerable and elderly, making his actions appear more like a desire for control and power over life and death rather than acts of compassion. During his trial, forensic experts meticulously presented evidence of the lethal doses of drugs found in the victims' bodies. Medical records, drug inventory logs, and nursing notes were scrutinized, revealing a calculated and premeditated pattern of murder. Psychiatric evaluations painted a complex picture of Letter's psychological profile. Experts suggested that his actions were driven by a narcissistic personality disorder, with a need for dominance and control rather than genuine empathy. In 2006, Stephan Letter was sentenced to life imprisonment, with the court ruling out the possibility of parole for at least 15 years. The severity of his sentence reflected the calculated and heinous nature of his crimes, and the profound breach of trust he had committed as a caregiver. The case of Stephan Letter shocked the public and sent ripples through the healthcare system in Germany and beyond. Media coverage was extensive, with headlines branding him as the Death Nurse, or Angel of Death. The case raised urgent questions about patient safety, the ethical responsibilities of healthcare providers, and the systemic vulnerabilities that allowed such a tragedy to occur. Hospitals across Germany implemented stricter controls on medication distribution and inventory management. Enhanced background checks and psychological screenings for healthcare professionals became more common, and whistleblowing policies were strengthened to encourage the reporting of suspicious behavior without fear of retaliation. The societal impact of the case extended beyond immediate reforms. It provoked deep reflections on cultural attitudes towards death and dying, especially in the context of end-of-life care. The taboo and stigma surrounding discussions of death were challenged, leading to more open dialogues about patients' end-of-life preferences and the ethical boundaries of medical intervention. For the families of Letter's victims, the trauma and loss were immeasurable. They grappled with feelings of betrayal and grief, compounded by the horrific realization that their loved ones had been murdered by someone entrusted with their care. Counseling and support services were provided to help them cope with the psychological aftermath, but the scars remained. Internationally, the case resonated, prompting healthcare systems worldwide to reassess their safeguards against similar abuses. Comparative studies highlighted the importance of contextually sensitive approaches to addressing systemic challenges and promoting patient safety. The lessons learned from the Stephan Letter case informed global efforts to strengthen healthcare oversight, accountability, and ethical standards. Stephan Letter's actions transcended the boundaries of a singular criminal act, serving as a catalyst for introspection, dialogue, and action across multiple domains of society. His case remains a stark reminder of the potential for abuse within systems designed to care for the most vulnerable. It underscores the critical need for continuous improvement in healthcare oversight and the cultivation of a culture that prioritizes patient safety and ethical integrity above all else. The legacy of Stephan Letter's crimes resides in the memories of his victims. Their lives and the injustices they suffered serve as a poignant reminder of the human cost of negligence, abuse, and betrayal within the healthcare system. By confronting the uncomfortable truths exposed by this case and embracing opportunities for systemic change, communities strive to honor the memory of the victims, uphold the principles of justice, and safeguard the integrity of healthcare systems for generations to come. Letter was sentenced to life in prison for 29 murders, though he may have been responsible for 50 more.